Where politics meets common sense. This is Nightcaps with Nate.
Coming to you live from just outside the swamp of the nation's capital. Get ready for invigorating talk, commentary, and debate on the issues affecting your life. Grab your favorite drink. It's Nightcaps with Nate. Now, here's Nate.
Hey, welcome to a Thursday edition of Nightcaps with Nate. I'm Nate, and I got, of course, my Thursday night co-host, Kareem, my man who, by the way, owns his own clothing line. Yep, and he is going to get his website going, but I'm going to show you just a little picture real quick because he is my friend, and here we go. So this is Instagram right here. You just go up to Hood Samaritan. He was telling me that the website is hoodsamaritan.com. It is actually hood-samaritan.com. Pretty nice looking website there. I almost bought a hat. He's just got to fix his checkout. But besides that, if you want to order anything in the meantime, decent prices, you'll be supporting a Second Amendment conservative and his clothing line. How'd you come up with the name Hood Samaritan?
Well, you know, I'm God-fearing, so we thought about the Good Samaritan, like the Bible story. So actually, when I went to go use that name, it was taken, so I had to, copyright the name. So by me being from the urban society of America, I chose Hood Samaritan from being from the hood.
There you go.
So it still plays the same. It's the same concept.
All right. Yeah, so go to hood-samaritan.com, see what you want. You can, in the meantime, you can private message me, and we could make the transaction. So good way to support not really the show, because we're not going to get any profits off it, but a man who has an awesome family, has come up from, well, really nothing, made his way as a career in the United States Army, Second Amendment conservative, on this show every Thursday, donating his time, even though it's draft night, by the way. Go Lions. My man, Kareem, he's a Bears fan, which is not as bad as a Packers fan.
Yeah, not as bad. Packers are terrible.
I just hate them. Can't stand them. I did like Minnesota, so that's kind of my second team.
Too. The Minnesota fans ain't that bad, but who worse? Real quick before we start, Packers fans or Cowboy fans?
Oh, God. They're both obnoxious, but I'd take the Cowboys over the Packers any day.
Oh.
Any day. I hate Packers. I hate the colors. I hate the fact that they have a team and they don't even have a city. I mean, have you ever been to Green Bay?
No, I never been. I've been to Wisconsin, but not Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay is like this small little town, and all of a sudden their biggest building is this stadium in the middle. It's like kind of weird. I don't know. I got a lot of friends that are Green Bay Packer fans. But to me, the Packers are the NFL to what Ohio State is to me in the college. I hate them. It is hatred. And I know we got some Ohio State fans that watch. They watch this show. So, in fact, this morning I was on a Zoom conference and a guy changed his whole background to be Ohio State, where like the Buckeye guy was popping up in the background and stuff. He thought he was funny. But those are the most obnoxious fans, hands down. So all sports.
I forget, you're a Rover Reed fan, so that's a real deep rivalry right there.
Huge rivalry, yep. Go Blue. I like Michigan for football and Michigan State for basketball. And Whitley adopted all my teams. She's trying to get me to adopt Georgia, which is cool. That is where Matt Stafford came from, but I bleed blue, man. Whether it's Honolulu blue or Michigan blue, I just bleed it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, being a Sparty fan, you can't lose there.
Yeah, that's I love them for basketball. They always usually have a pretty good squad going. And then for basketball also where I went to grad school, Creighton University, Creighton Blue Jays. So yeah, man, it's crazy. So up here, you're down there in sunny Tampa. I'm about to come move down there with you because right now it's just been nasty. It's cloudy. It's supposed to rain till Monday. Average temperature up here, 69 degrees. We're stuck in like the 50s for the next week.
Oh, man.
I know.
It's so good out here, man. It's like mid-80s all week. 2-mile runs in the morning is beautiful.
Nah, I ain't doing that, but I'd go golfing. Oh, yes. All right, so let's get into it, man. All right, my first story of the day is, do they have the balls? Yes. So Trump, he's a different man. He says, hey, I'm tired of it. These little pissants motorboats come around our ships again, just start blowing them out of the water from Iran, which is a very aggressive stance because a lot of people would never take on, including Obama, including George W. Bush. They kind of, I don't know why they're scared of this little pissant country. Yeah, they might eventually have a nuclear weapon, but they're a little pissant country, man. They're about the size of, maybe Ohio. But do they have the balls to Iran? So the Iran Guard commander threatens U.S. Navy after Trump tweet saying that if we do anything, then he's gonna have to come after. And then he also summoned the Swiss ambassador because apparently we don't have an embassy there because they ruined that by taking over our embassy in the late 70s under Carter. And I don't know, man. I say, you know what? Screw him. It'd be like me going up against, I don't know, name any freaking any NFL player, period. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't we doing, you know what? Blow them out of the water, teach them the lesson. They're not stupid.
But you got to understand, man, the political side of it, man. U.S. is a powerful country. We're a powerful country. We know that. Powerful military, both technology and manpower. But we can't be out here bullying people. So we have to be tactical. And
I'm not saying bully anybody. But I mean, good Lord.
But the perception, it's the perception of, world politics.
Yeah. But if they're coming around our ships and we're tooting our horn and sending radio signals, hey, get away from us, we're in international waters. And I mean, think about it. Under Obama administration, they took one of our ships hostage. Remember, they had all of them.
Yeah.
That was on last night's show. Guess what? I'm glad Trump is standing up. I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be the policeman of the world anymore either. But if we're in international waters, just like they have a right to be in international waters, you abide by the maritime laws and regulations, and that's don't come up on each other's ships like that and stuff. I mean, they're doing it because for so long we've done nothing about it. It's like a kid, man.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. But I can tell you one thing about my commander in chief. If things keep going the way they go and he's not happy by it, there will be some action.
Yeah.
I believe it. I guarantee that.
He doesn't play around. All right, my next one is for every guy out there. Actually, this section's not yet for the guys, but this is the section I'm going to call damned if you do, damned if you don't. All right. This poor lady, right? So she owns a business and 2 day spas in Washington, maybe? Yeah, Washington State. Jamie Black Lewis received loans under that PPP program. Was so excited because now she can actually bring her employees back. Even though they don't have to work, they're still going to get paid, right? Employees are mad because they're making more money under unemployment because the unemployment thing says that you get unemployment plus an extra $600 a month or whatever, or a week.
Right.
And so she said, I couldn't believe it. On what planet am I competing with unemployment for employees? And that is so true. Maybe we didn't think this one through too much. I know why they added the other $600 a month or a week or whatever was to cover, because a lot of times unemployment insurance won't cover your full paycheck. Right. Maybe the law should have said, we'll give you all that money up to your normal paycheck. Right? So this poor lady goes out, does the right thing. She says she gets a Zoom conference call or some sort of a conference call goes, gives the news, and she's like, everybody just started blasting her. So I feel it, man. Leadership's a hard business. It's a lonely business.
It is. And you can't please everybody, and we know that all too well. But I mean, the show we did a few weeks ago, you brought up a good point about minimum wage across the country. It should be state driven and based off the economy of that area.
Yeah.
If they allowed it to go based off what you make for those locations, then somebody in New York versus LA probably wouldn't be the same with somebody that's in Mississippi or Alabama with the cost of living being different.
Exactly.
So,
a $15.
They probably have to have the government was looking at, hey, we need to just set a standard here, just like the military. The infantry guy can make the same as, I don't know what MOS, supply guy or whatever.
Right.
But they all,
But an E4 makes an E4, right? But
yeah.
But the government's smart enough that cost of living allowance takes place. When I was in California, I got a big cola. But this is one of those things, man, where I think we entice people to be on unemployment sometimes. And it happened during the Obama administration, too, where we kept unemployment for so long, people didn't want to get back in the market because they're like,
they
okay.
Stressed it. It was like 18 months or 2
easy.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I remember that.
And so people were like, well, I could go get a job and lose my unemployment for an extra $100 a week, or I can do nothing and get my unemployment, Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at the unemployment rates, there are jobs created since the Great Recession were 22.4 million. In the last 5 weeks, 26.5 million have claimed unemployment. So we've wiped out the entire gains plus some since the Great Recession of 2008 and 9. So there's going to be some reckoning that has to happen where people are going to have to be forced to go back to work. Hey, you have to go back to work. Unemployment, we're not going to keep it at such a high rate. It's going to go back down. And it's going to take time. We shut down the entire economy, but I think it's prime for a comeback. But this is not a very encouraging sign that people should not want to be on government assistance. They should want to be self-sufficient, and she was offering them self-sufficiency, and they're mad at her.
Yeah, but if somebody giving you what you make versus going to work every day, that's pretty hard to go against.
Of course. Yeah.
So,
I'm a conspiracy theorist on this.
I got you.
I think Democrats do it on purpose to addict people for votes. The same reason why a lot of people in the military vote Republican, because it helps them. A lot of people in Appalachia or in the urban areas, either one, that are on welfare, vote Democrat because they know, hey, they're giving me that free check.
Yeah, but can I ask you a question though?
Sure.
By Trump being president, and we know the House is ran by Democrats right now, right?
The House, yep, not the Senate.
The Senate is ran by Republicans,
right?
But Trump being the Republican president, how are people really viewing, these things that are going on? Because if people are, people that are not political minded, who are they really believing that is putting out these programs? Are they thinking, okay, this is, man, under Trump, just like you just said, Obama had this long unemployment stretch. Are people thinking, okay, Obama taking care of us? I mean, Trump is taking care of us. He's doing the same thing.
Well, because that was passed under Obama with a Democrat House and Senate, so that was their program. And
okay.
So I don't think he's going to get the credit for that. I think, right before this all happened, he was pushing people from welfare to work. He was allowing states to implement work requirements and stuff, and he got beat up for it. Now, obviously, all that's suspended because of the stuff that we're going through right now.
Okay.
Another issue of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Poor guy, day 32 of quarantine. My wife's sense of humor is completely gone. No amount of cheer or motivation seems to work. Sometimes I text my wife the motivational quotes from her tampons when she has her period to try to cheer her up. He wrote off one of them, live fearlessly. And she says, I swear to God, go fuck yourself. I thought it was a meme. I don't know if it's really true, but I didn't even know tampons had motivational quotes on them. Did you?
Hell no. I mean, I don't mind the tampons thing. I'd rather be the guy in the store with the tampons than the guy in the store with the Pampers at this point in life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pampers are expensive. Tampons aren't as expensive.
And Pampers, if you buying Pampers, that means you buying something else along with that too as well. But I didn't know that though. I try to stay out of her personal business.
Nate says the man was trying to be sensitive and sweet, right? But I was hoping my wife would have been on for this segment, but she canceled out on me. She doesn't like my show anymore, I guess.
That's all right though. We're gonna keep on pushing.
That's right. Next one. There was an article that says, are women more sexual than men? The cord that rocks the cradle is ruling the world. In other words, women are taking over the world. They are becoming unapologetic about who and what they want. They are gradually narrowing the gap with their male counterparts financially and physically. Are they also narrowing the gap sexually? The whole article is that, yeah, women are now looking at more porn. They're taking their sexuality in their hands, and it's like something to be celebrated. Nate says not buying it. While they may look at porn more, that may be due to less men venturing out on the prowl for a mate due to the same reason, easily acceptable porn. But men will always hunt for more sex as they're full of testosterone. That is why chemical castration or sexual deviance is so effective. They lower the sex drive through eliminating testosterone. I don't think women are. I think women are allowed to express themselves more than say the 50s and 60s, but that doesn't make them like they're closing the gap and they're on the prowl more for sex than men are. I've yet to see.
I don't. Women, like I said, tonight's show is just our point of view and our experiences. I say women probably are being more open, with media and things like that. I don't know if it's like really they want sex more like our sex drive is, but you gotta remember we have grown as a country. My parents used to tell me when Elvis Presley used to be on TV, they only showed him from the waist up because they didn't want to show his hips separated. So we have grown as a country and become more open. But when I lived in Germany, Europeans, 5, 6, I was in Germany almost 10 years ago, their commercials were in nude.
Yeah, sometimes they show breasts on the commercial, or you go to the beach and they just be topless.
Yeah, cell phone. So the American society, but I don't know the world.
We're more Puritan. We come from the Puritan route that, we're. Now, I think that we could take that too far. I really don't want my kids walking down the road and seeing a dude's pecker just hanging out, No.
And we understand it.
Well, we're slowly getting there, Bottom line is this, man. Men are always going to be hornier than women. Just period. And I'll tell you why. I ain't never seen, unless you're brand new in a relationship, women don't wake you up in the morning, with a ready to go at it. Guys, we're made to be on the prowl. That's how mating goes, man.
Oh man.
Not to be a prowler, not to be deviant.
Hey, our viewers out there, they would beg to differ, both male and female. There are some women that like to have a good time.
I know they do. But guess what?
More than their significant other.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, bro. Okay? And it's the wonder drug called testosterone, man. We're full of testosterone. I think, maybe like when, I don't know. I don't want to take this too deep, but maybe, I guess, when a woman is like, her clock is ticking or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm moving on before I get in trouble. I'm not a sexual therapist.
Thank you, Jesus, for the woman.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. But this is something I thought I would only see in porn. Okay? Not that I look at porn, but I have been known to look at it once in a while. Okay? Justice Department targets landlords demanding sexual favors in lieu of rent during this pandemic. Yes, there are actually people out there who probably saw this on like one of those porn tube sites, said, oh man, a girl will give me a, whatever in lieu of rent. I'll take it, right? Well, apparently it's illegal. Attorney General William Barr directed U.S. attorneys across the country to prioritize cases in which landlords have been accused of asking renters for sexual favors in exchange for housing, targeting those who need to defer rental payments because of economic hardship caused by the ongoing pandemic. Such behavior is despicable and is illegal, Barr said in a memo. Trump administration and the Department of Justice has not hesitated to intervene when clear misconduct occurs. This behavior is not tolerated in normal times and certainly will not be tolerated now. Senior Justice Department official tells CBS News that is looking into some complaints at the moment, but does not comment on ongoing investigations. I didn't know that crap really happened, man. I thought that was like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
What happens in Pornhub stays at Pornhub,
Right.
I didn't know landlords are so brazen that they would actually really proposition a girl like, I can make you, you could take an extra couple weeks of rent.
Hey, man. There's some sexual deviants out there, man. They doing it in Hollywood, so imagine this time.
It blew my mind. It blows my mind that anybody could take advantage of somebody. So, and that again, going back to the sexual drive, it's not women typically that are doing this. It's men that are guilty of doing this. Okay.
It's sad. That is very, very sad. But you know, you have celebrities of all walks of life that have that status, and they still get caught up in these type of situations. So I'm not surprised we got, you know, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I was just about to say Harvey Weinstein and
R. Kelly going through his thing.
peeing on 12-year-olds.
Yeah, so I mean, this happens, you know. But that still doesn't say that men, you know, have a higher sexual drive. That don't prove anything.
Of course it proves it, man. Come on. Dude, there ain't no R. Kelly's peeing on 12-year-old boys. I mean, there are, but I'm saying there's no female R. Kelly's peeing on 12-year-old boys. And it might be, but it's rare. It's rare.
Put it this way. Maybe men are different. Maybe if they experiencing those things, how we were raised, we don't consider, you know.
I was hoping you'd bring up the counter argument about teachers. There are more teachers, it seems like, more and more that are going after young men in school.
Especially in Florida. But
yeah, but everything bad happens in Florida.
Yeah, but I ain't saying that. That's just stuff that take place because, you know, a minor has a parent, and then the parents figure out what's going on. But there's some grown men out here that's probably, but how we raised, we're not structured to think that's being taken advantage of. You get what I'm saying? It's just societal things. I don't think it's nature. It's just how we're conditioned.
So you think our higher sex drives as males just conditioning, not nature? Bullshit, man. Come on, man. Why do you think the testosterone commercials are marketed to 40, 50, 60-year-old men? They're like, hey, get your sex drive back and your muscle back and all that. Come get on testosterone replacement therapy.
But look at the commercials. There's always a woman that's like, for example, have you seen the Frank Thomas commercial, the Neutrogen, when the girls at the gym and it's just all the two girls and Frank Thomas working out, and the girls be like, "Oh, that's Frank Thomas," and then she's like, "I wish my husband looked like that." You know,
no, I never saw that. But
you gotta watch the Frank Thomas commercial. She's like, "I wish my husband looked like that," and he was telling her, well, "I use this Neutrogen. It makes me boost my stamina. I guess similar form to Viagra." So basically, she telling them, if you want your husband to look like this and give you that type of satisfaction that you think you're gonna receive from me, this is what you need to get him to perform. So,
and I bet you more than anything, if you look it up, it's some sort of a testosterone booster supplement.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Why? Because testosterone is what gives us men. Hey, if testosterone didn't give you your sex drive, then why would all these perverts, when they get out of prison, a lot of them, or they were doing, I don't know if they can do it anymore, it's called chemical castration, where they were actually basically inhibiting all their testosterone from being in their body so that they wouldn't go after little kids anymore.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again one more time. I got to hear this.
Yeah, so they would give testosterone blockers to perverts when they were coming out of prison while on parole or whatever, and it's called chemical castration, and basically it blocks them from being able to produce testosterone, and their sex drive goes way down so that they're less likely to reoffend and go after like a little kid again.
Man, that sounds like Victory Punch.
Victory Punch? Is that this? You talk about basic training? When they said the thing that had saltpeter, they said they put saltpeter in our Kool-Aid in basic training so we didn't get hard on or something.
Yeah, I don't know
think
how true that was.
No, it wasn't true. I don't think. All right, next story. Creeping killer. Thousands may have been infected with coronavirus in hidden U.S. outbreak far earlier than thought. Models show the deadly coronavirus can survive, by the way, at boiling point, according to one study, raising doubts of a 60 degrees Celsius. Washes, that's like 140 degrees. Anyways, what they found is two things here. Through genetic testing, coronavirus has been here a lot longer than what we knew. New York City did New York State did a big test and found out that 1 in 5 New Yorkers in the city have already had COVID-19 and didn't even know it. So that means that our death rate is much lower than 1%, probably around the 0.5, 0.6%. So that's good news. The bad news is that you're looking at Lysol right now. That can kill it, I'm sure. But
it don't have COVID-19, but it got coronavirus on it.
Right. But what's coronavirus? Coronavirus is also the common cold. There's lots of coronaviruses out there. This is coronavirus 19. That's why it's called COVID-19. So
yeah, it mutated.
Well, some people say it's built in a lab. Conspiracy.
Crickets.
Yeah.
What you believe?
I believe that it was built not for nefarious purposes, but it was a lab in Wuhan that was experimenting with different coronaviruses, probably to find a vaccination for HIV or something like that.
Okay.
But they were using shoddy, like everything else is done in China, where they kind of do everything half-assed. I think their infection control is half-assed, and it came out of the lab. Right. And the Chinese, that's why the Chinese were so intent on keeping everybody quiet about it. And they're like jailing all these scientists who are trying to come out and warn people. Because if it really came from bats, they could have just said, hey, it came from bats. But, you know.
That's what my wife had told me when this first hit, that people was eating bats at the market and the bats.
Well, come to find out, in that region of China, because China's huge, they don't eat bats. So there was no reason to sell them in that market. And so that's why they think that it came from there. Now, did it originate in bats? It probably a long time ago originated, and that's probably how they isolated it, and they were doing it in the lab and stuff. But this is actually that story I was just saying. Breaking news, more than a fifth of New York City residents tested positive for coronavirus antibodies in a random sample study, which means as many as 1.7 million people in the city have already been infected. Okay, because there's like 8 million people in the city. It does have a mortality rate of 5 times greater than flu, but that's because the flu has a 0.1% mortality rate. So this has about a 0.5% mortality rate. That means that if you get it, you have about a 99. Actually, if you get it, you probably don't know you ever even had it, or you just had a slight cold and that was it. And only the sickest will die. So about 99.5% chance that you will not die from this COVID-19. Study took samples from 3,000 people across 40 towns in 19 counties across the state of New York. All participants were 18, and they did it through grocery stores. They just took a little prick of blood. 21% in New York City tested positive. Long Island had about 16.7%. The rest of the state only had 3% positive. Biggest age group that had it was the 45 to 55-year-olds. And that was about 16.7%. More than 22% of African Americans, Latinos, and other non-white or Asian races tested positive. That is probably because typically those demographics are in the city where they live closer together. So they're sharing, airspace, right?
Right.
So good and bad news there. I think on top of what we found in Santa Clara County and up in Massachusetts, we're finding that a lot more people have already had this thing, which is good. It gets us closer to herd immunity. The problem is that we've probably delayed the inevitable by doing this big lockdown. I understand the lockdown was so that we didn't overrun our healthcare system because they don't have enough beds. But it might be time that instead of hoping for a vaccine that may never even show up, we might need to increase our capacity of our hospitals and just let people out and let the sick get sick and get over it.
Yeah,
sounds heartless, but
I mean, I understand the research that you did, and by doing that research that you will feel that way. But you have to understand too is, I don't think we exactly knew what we were dealing with when it first took place.
Of course, yeah, it's novel.
Us as a country, the government, the medical field, we had no idea what we was dealing with, the impact of it. The media put a lot of emphasis on what was going on, but as well, if we open up everything, we really don't know. Without a vaccine or a cure or some sort of treatment plan to cure this thing, I don't know if it's safe just to open up everything like that, because we really don't know. We don't know if the social distancing is working. We have no idea.
Well, I mean, we could think it's working. We think it's working because the death rate is much lower than what remember, they were predicting that without social distancing, supposedly 2.2 million people were going to die. Now, I think that was way overblown. But And South Dakota has never even locked down, and they don't have a higher than average thing. I think it is time that we let people out, but not the vulnerable. The vulnerable should be able to still work from home. For instance, I have a workmate. He's had heart disease. He needs to work from home until there's a vaccine.
But that's the trickery of it, when we discuss the asymptomatic people. So, man, you might be good to go, but you might know somebody that's vulnerable, and you moving as normal, and then you bring it back to that person, and then you make them sick, and then they die. So that's the game that we're playing here.
Yeah, but think about this though, man. The vulnerable already die from pneumonia and influenza, but we don't shut down the entire country. We just try to be careful around them and I think we've learned a lot of things. Like from now on, I think for the next few years, everybody's going to kind of shaking hands are going to be a thing of the past. I think more people are going to go out with masks, especially if you're vulnerable. But you can't keep the whole country locked down. You can't keep the whole world locked down. Eventually, we got to get out and move. We can't just hide from this invisible enemy for the rest of our life.
Yeah, but this thing has been blown up so much. We have shut down so many things for us just to say, okay, tomorrow let's go back to normal.
No, I mean they're proposing a 3-wave thing now. My next thing is Georgia. They're kind of going really quick with it. I don't know if I agree with it. Maybe too soon. Georgia to open gyms, nail salons, bowling alleys, and more on Friday, and then restaurants and movie theaters on Monday. Georgia is moving to rapidly reopen businesses in phases by the end of the week, with the state's Republican governor, Brian Kemp, announcing several sectors set to be back in business. At a news conference Monday afternoon, Kemp said some elective surgeries could resume immediately, with gym salons and bowling alleys open Friday. He did cite the new White House guidelines. We appreciate the leadership and desire to reopen the economy. Nate says, have you lost your damn mind? The gym? Hell no. That's a germ factory, right? Bowling alleys, maybe like if you're using your own bowling ball. I mean, think about it. You're not going to disinfect bowling balls. Everybody's sticking their little claws in there. The 3 holes or whatever.
Hey, anywhere we go, anything we do, when we go back to normal functioning, is going to be risky.
Yeah, but not as risky as
gyms.
But some things are going to be more germ prone than others. We know gyms harbor a lot of germs because you're always touching the equipment. You're sweaty. It's hot. It's humid. It's nasty up in there. It's like a germ factory, man. In fact, when I was in California, I had to quit going to the gym. I had to start working out at home because every time I went to the gym, a few days later, it seemed like I was sick. So, bowling ball, maybe if you have your own bowling ball, but not the sweaty ass gym, man. Not for a while. Let's wait until we get this thing really out of it. You know what I mean? Gym is dirty, bro.
I miss a lot of sweating. I mean, I think about that shit too, because when I get in, I work out. Like when I go to the gym, I might do 2 or 3 miles on the treadmill, work up my ladder, sweat. Then I go hit the bench. When you hit the bench, you already sweating, and then they got these little towels where you can wipe the bench, but some people don't wipe the equipment like that and do what they're supposed to do. So I can agree with you. On that.
Even when they wipe the equipment, it's like a swipe,
Yeah,
it's not very. You're really supposed to scrub it down.
Go to your next whatever. I agree with that.
One time
but I agree. Man, this is such a crazy time, man, and the information that we're getting is not clear. I don't think we'll be able to, since everything has been escalated to this point, I don't think we'll ever be able to go back to normal until they come up with either a cure or a treatment plan. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For example, real quick, if you had if you had like an STD or something, and you went to the doctor and they rodded you or whatever they did, and they say, oh, you got this. They give you the penicillin or whatever. You take this for 2-3 days, 7 days, you good. All right? So it's not a big deal because it's a big deal because of the situation. I don't know what you do with that time, girlfriend at home, whatever. But you get what I'm saying? It's curable, something that you get over at a certain period of time. Until they come up with that type of treatment, ain't nobody moving around.
Yeah.
You can open up what you want to open up, but you're gonna have that population that's not moving around.
You're gonna, and it's gonna, but that's part of the phase, man. You gotta, we do have to protect the old and vulnerable, and they have to sit home. But man, we can't keep it closed forever. Hey, by the way, did you know? And I did this. My mom did this because we grew up poor as a kid, and so she'd buy like bulk milk somehow if we didn't have to drink the powdered milk from the welfare place.
Man,
but did you know?
Milk was nasty. Ugh.
Did you know that you can freeze a gallon of milk for up to 3 months?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna start. My mom used to do that, and I just thought it was. I didn't know why. I knew why because we had 6 kids in the family, so we'd go through milk a lot, and she would get tired of going to the store, so she'd buy like a bunch of milk at once when she got her food stamps or whatever. But it's a good thing.
Well, I got you on that. My mom used to be like, even though they had to date, we smelled the milk, so I could smell if milk is spoiled or not. But growing up as a kid,
I would go to friends' house because of that. I was taught, you're just conditioned to smell. So I'd smell on my food, and my friends parents would be like, you could trust our food. You don't have to smell it. And I'm like, I didn't even realize I did it. I just always smelled food because I always wanted to check if it was bad or not.
That's a habit.
Now, you didn't grow up on real welfare in the 70s or 80s unless you know what this is right here on the next screen. And these are cans that just say beef and a can that just says pork. And then the good old government cheese in the brown box. Now,
the long ass brown box of cheese.
Yep.
The long brown box of butter.
Yeah.
You ever had a can that says pork? It just said pork USDA, and you ain't know what was in there. It was pork, but you don't know where they cut that piece of pork or beef from.
It's good, like beef testicles.
I was blessed to have a mama that could take anything and doctor it up and put it together and make it taste, like something. So
yeah, there was a lot of pushback.
A lot of pushback for what?
There's a lot of pushback because Trump was trying to bring some of that stuff back so that to tamp down on welfare abuse. And so apparently,
bring back like government cheese and government pork.
Yeah.
Hell no.
See, I didn't know it was welfare stuff growing up. I thought it was just normal food. I knew it was different. I just thought maybe my mom got it from the generic section of the. You know how they have like you have Kraft mac and cheese, and then you have the generic stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know where my mama had got that stuff. I remember having it in my house.
Uh-huh.
As I got a little older, it kind of phased out when I got about.
Yeah, because they went to normal welfare. They got rid of that stuff. But
when I got about 13, 14 years old, I didn't really see it. But I remember when I was younger for a little stretch.
We ate the hell out of that government cheese though. It made great grilled cheese though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did.
And if you're really poor, then you know how to make fried bologna too. Have you ever did that fried bologna?
I know fried bologna, fried salami, all that. but that powder milk was a crime.
It was a crime. That shit is for Walking Dead.
And the powder milk box, I don't know if you can see me. That box was big,
huge.
In a box of cereal. That shit was so goddamn big and black and white. And my mom used to stick it on. We had cabinets in our kitchen, and she used to stick it on the shelf. And that shit, I think they got the stuff every month. We got the cheese.
Yep.
And it's supposed to last you like a month. That powder milk sat on that goddamn shelf for the entire month, and it like haunted you when you walked in the kitchen.
My mom, now remember, this is before the days of the internet where you could just get recipes, so my mom had to make this stuff up, but she somehow took that powdered milk and mixed it with cocoa and sugar or whatever, and you put like 2 scoops in a cup, and it made chocolate milk for you. And that was genius, man. It still tasted nasty. It was a crime.
Hey, that powdered milk sat on our shelf forever. We would rather eat cereal with water or cereal just dry. Then they gave you the cornflakes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yep.
It wasn't even like the Kellogg's cornflakes.
Oh.
It was just cornflakes.
Yeah.
That was bad living, man.
That was, hey, you know what?
Get a shout out, man. I ain't got to live like that no more, but that was some tough living during them days.
But I didn't know it was tough living because I just grew up in it. It's like I didn't know that my daddy really whooped my ass more than my friends because I just thought everybody got whooped like that. You know what I mean?
I tell my wife that all the time. Shit, we didn't know because everybody was poor, but you knew the difference between how you were living by the household that your parents kept. Because even though you lived together, if you don't have love, your house was clean and it was straight, you was good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what my mama always said was, hey, just because we don't have a lot of money, doesn't mean you have to live dirty, you know.
No, yeah.
And so that is, I get props from my mom and my dad. But I lived like right on the edge. I lived in Flint, but then there's like Flint Township, right? So basically a Flint address. But so we had like a poor side of our school, really poor. And then we had actually like one or two neighborhoods that were really rich. So, you know, they would always look down on us. But until I got to high school, you know, I didn't know the difference, you know, until somebody told me I had a fake polo shirt on because it didn't have polo or like, what the hell's a fake polo shirt? You know?
In high school, you had the fake polo. I graduated in 96. What year you graduate?
Well, I was supposed to graduate in 95. I graduated in 96. But we moved out to the suburbs my junior year. So I went to a school called Flushing, Michigan. That was much richer. So I hung out with my friends. I don't know, you know, the De La Rosas, and they were just broke as I was. So we were good.
Yeah, I grew up in the hood, man. We was rocking Jabos.
We had Jabos too.
Fila.
My friend.
Eugene's, Damage. Shit. Elise's. What else was hot back in the starter jacket?
Girls would wear Guess jeans.
Yeah, Guess was dope.
But Jerbo was like the gold standard of jeans, man. If you had back in the day, you had Jerbo jeans, that little tag on your pecker there, you know,
on the zipper. Hey man, you had some Jerbo jeans, you was fresh. Jerbo, Guess, used and damaged. Well, see, Chicago, we had used and damaged.
We had Z Cavaricis too, and that was like late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah.
Those are the days, man. If you had those, I had a buddy.
You had some money.
And I borrowed his. I'd borrow him like once a week. Just so I had.
We did that.
Felt like $1 million, man. My confidence shot up. I could talk to girls.
The windbreaker suits, man, and all that. The Nike windbreakers. Hey, that was those some good times.
Hey, speaking of your
crazy though.
Go ahead.
Hey, we didn't even talk about what we were drinking.
Same Bacardi diet. I saw you had something earlier. Uh-oh, you cut out. Hold on. You still there? I can't hear you, man.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Just now it's got you back on. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
My bad. You know, my bad to the viewers, the camera going out. We across the internet wave. We going live. Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, man, because there's so many people streaming.
What are you drinking, man?
Time. Hey, tonight, this is a special occasion. I already, you know, this that 1738, man.
Is it a whiskey?
Remy. No, it's cognac.
Cognac? Okay. I never had any of that.
It's draft night, you know what I'm saying? And then I still got my chaser, you know, my Sangria Moscato.
Yeah, you turned up earlier on your Facebook Live selling your clothing line.
Oh man, that was my first. My clothing line been going on for about 1.5 years now, and I done did some distribution, like I told you before we started, but I haven't really just went out there and just advertised it like I should have.
I know. We got to get your son dancing someday on the show.
Yeah, he's a little star, man. He's the truth.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of your STD example that you had earlier, coronavirus is not transmitted sexually, a study finds. Somehow they got 34 Chinese guys over in China to jerk off into a cup, and they tested for coronavirus. No joke.
What?
Yeah, but we're not the only ones. Oregon. I don't know how you say it, Oregon. But anyways, they have a big old PSA. It's on the screen right now. They say, hey, if you're rimming mouth on anus, might spread COVID-19. Virus and feces may enter your mouth. So make sure you wash your mouth, use condoms, selectively kiss, and no rimming. Now, Nate says Nate says no need to censor any of this because science is nothing to be ashamed of. Ask any gynecologist. They're always down there. It is all public information in the news and on this Oregon's public health website. So if you are going to report me to Facebook, just know that I got this off the Oregon website. So go ahead and report me.
But
yes.
this don't make no sense.
What, Rimmon?
This right here, sexual transmitted, but they're telling us to wear masks, right?
Right.
Because if you talk to somebody, if they, just do natural speech, that if saliva come out their mouth, it can fly a certain distance, to protect yourself. So if you having a interaction with a woman or whatever you into,
whatever you into, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we in this new society. Whatever you into, and you kids and doing your thing. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, all I know is that there's no coronavirus in your sperm. So if you
you gonna make me hit my boy Trump favorite quote. That's fake news, man.
It's fake news. I guess it's okay to do like the movies, and just let it go wherever, okay? That's as far as we'll take it there, but it won't cause coronavirus.
That don't even sound. You gotta use some common sense.
You ever heard of? Did you know what rimming was before this PSA from Oregon?
Rimming?
Yeah.
Hell no. What is rimming?
It says mouth on anus. Might cause COVID-19.
That ain't cool, man.
I heard it was called tossing salad personally, but that's what I thought. All right, moving on. This is why we do the show. This is why we do the show after 9 o'clock, because kids should not be listening to us. Even though
young boys need to start rimming out there.
Even though that was put out by Oregon on their public health site, so that's rated G, rated government. Okay. Hey, did you know? This is the next one. I love this story. Did you know that Bin Laden, no joke, they uncovered like secret documents after we killed Bin Laden. He wanted to kill Obama because he thought Joe Biden was totally unprepared to be president and would plunge the U.S. into a crisis. So their goal was to assassinate President Obama so that Joe Biden would be forced to take over.
Where do you get this from now?
USA Today and that says USA Today, son. And the Daily Mail. No joke. Google it. Bin Laden wanted to kill Obama because he thought Joe Biden was totally unprepared to be president. The 45-page document was seized during a 2011 raid that killed Osama bin Laden. It has now been declassified, revealing the details of plans to assassinate President Obama. Bin Laden believed having Joe Biden in charge would cause a crisis in the United States. And here, there's a 50-50 chance we're going to elect him as president. Osama bin Laden would be loving this right now if he were still alive.
I don't know what to think about that. This coming out right now on the eve of the election.
Well, it's not the eve of the election. We still got 6-7 months left. Just April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We got 7 months left, so it's not like it's some October surprise. But I do think it's hilarious because if he saw Joe Biden now with his dementia, he's even worse.
Joe Biden got a dementia?
I think so. Have you seen him live? He forgets he forgets that he's even running for president. He said he was running for Senate the other day.
Oh my God.
All right, next one, because we're running out of time.
Well, you already know where my vote going. Shout out to Natalie.
Shout out to Natalie. Not going to Biden. All right. Police arrest 30 pedophiles in just one Virginia county, Fairfax County, Virginia, as part of a COVID crackdown operation set up to help protect children who are vulnerable to online abuse while taking classes on the internet. These 30 perverts were talking to people on the internet, kids that were taking classes, somehow got a hold of them, and they were going to actually go, all men, by the way, all 30 were men, go back to that sex drive thing, and they all tried to meet up, and they got arrested when they were trying to meet up. Nasty, nasty, nasty dudes. These dudes right here, this is where that chemical castration, I think, comes in, man. Lot of people that could very well. I wish they would have talked about maybe the immigration status of some of these people, because there's a lot.
Read for the viewers what you just read, because that was kind of deep. Just summarize it real quick.
Yeah, so Fairfax County, which is a county outside of Washington, D.C., populated county, but a bunch of 30 guys were arrested, rounded up, when they tried to meet up with females, fake females that were online learning because of the COVID-19. Nobody's schools are open, so they're learning, and somehow they got in and was able to talk to them. They were really talking to cops and posing as females, as young girls, and they were all arrested over the last last week, I think. 30
man, that's entrapment. But
I don't give a shit. Dude, bottom line, watch what your kids are doing. Don't just trust their online schooling. Watch your kids. That's your job, mom and dad. That's your job. All right?
Yeah.
Not the police. Yeah. But I will definitely be showing my kids this because they know. My kids already know stranger danger on the internet is big.
Yeah, I don't like the internet shit and all that stuff that be going on. But at the same time, damn, we got some, you know. But it go both ways. It's a shame that we got people out there that's moving like that, and it's a shame that we have to spend law enforcement time to control people that's moving like that.
Hey, you know what? Thank God for law enforcement. Keep it up, guys, because that keeps our kids safe.
Shout out to law enforcement.
That's right.
I give it to you on that. I agree with you on that.
All right, this next one is okay. I've given Governor Cuomo some props, but that douchebag on CNN, man, I tell you what. Did you see that video of him coming up out of the basement? All right, here's the video for my viewers. Go ahead and go on mute for a second, so it doesn't feed back. Let me see if I can get this thing to play.
Yeah, show them that. And I can't wait till this topic.
All right, here we go.
Right here is the official reentry from the basement, cleared by CDC. A little sweaty, just worked out. Happens. This is what I've been dreaming of, literally for weeks. My wife, she was cleared by the CDC. She doesn't have fever. She doesn't have the symptoms anymore. More than 7 days from her quarantine. We're still a little scared, so I'll just give you one of these. 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 Bella has, of course, taken the video. This is the dream, just to be back up here doing normal things. Thank you for being so nice to me. Thank you for taking care of everything. All right, here it is.
All right, this dude, I'm not gonna show the thing. This dude's such a douchebag. First of all, that was not his official coming out, just because last week he got in a fight. He got in a fight with a biker last week outside. So he made it look as So a biker came up to him, right, because he was outside working out, and he's
outside working out doing what? What the fuck he was doing outside?
Right. Okay. So he's living downstairs because he got the coronavirus, right? So he gets the coronavirus. So he's living down there. He's been doing CNN broadcasts from down there, living it up, man. I'm the victim. The whole 9 yards, right? Cuomo told, and this is coming from what you see on your screen a second ago is from the Intelligencer, okay? This is from a liberal-ass news source, okay? Chris Cuomo airs moment he could, quote, finally emerge from basement a week after leaving his basement. Cuomo told his CNN colleague, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, that there are two reasons his wife and kids gave him a very quiet welcome. Because if you notice on the video, they didn't seem like, oh, hey, Dad, I haven't seen you in forever, Dad, I missed you. Nope. They're like, hey, dude. And he's doing this like, I don't want to touch you. He's doing some douchebag, like, hang loose thing. But anyways, so he comes out of the basement. He says that it's because neither was the obvious fact that he has already been out of the basement by his own admission. Cuomo told a story a week ago on Sirius XM radio show that he was on. In the segment, which included Cuomo complaining about his job at CNN because he was confronted by a, quote, jackass, loser, fat tire biker. While outside on Easter, the New York Post later reported that Cuomo was visiting undeveloped property he owns in East Hampton when the man who was riding on his bike called out the anchor saying, hey, I said to him, your brother is the coronavirus czar and you're not even following his rules? Unnecessary travel, the man identified only as David told the New York Post. Cuomo's response, who the hell are you? I can do what I want. So, point is, this was like on CNN and they were like, breaking news, Cuomo emerges from his basement after being cleared by the CDC. It was this big old setup thing, man. It was such a douchebag freaking video. I mean, come on, man. Are you really that starved for ratings that you got to make news up? That's why Trump calls them fake news, by the way.
Hey. Cuomo, my wife loved the Cuomo brothers, the governor and the
anchor.
Anchor, yeah, the anchor. So I'm hoping that Cuomo really was going through what he was going through, and I watched it. I watched it. It seemed a little bit strange because I'm telling you, my kids, coronavirus or not, if they ain't seen their daddy in a while, and I come from wherever, they gonna hug me, kids.
Yeah, of course. It's like being deployed to your basement.
Yeah. About to pull in. If I go to work all day for one day and come home, that's how I get greedy by my wife, my kids, my dog. So let alone 14. I don't know how many days he was gone. Shit.
Way longer, yeah. I mean,
come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't fake. I mean, come on. You could have done a better acting job, but that guy's kind of a douche anyways. I see where people like Governor Cuomo because he's out there, he's sharp. But his brother, Fredo, or whatever his name is, Chris Cuomo, he's...
Why you call him Fredo, man?
Because people call him that and he gets pissed off. All right, so next story. Does your wife have a she shed?
Fredo, man.
You ever see the commercial of the she shed?
No.
State Farm commercial, and the she shed's on fire, and she gets on the phone with the State Farm agent, and the poor guy, he's like getting blamed for it. Nah, man. You gotta look at it. So Louisiana, there is a Louisiana
Fredo
man.
Ain't cool though.
Huh?
Fredo was not good. But go ahead.
All right, sorry. My bad. Sorry, Chris Cuomo, if you're watching this. Louisiana man is angry over stimulus check, so he sets his mom's shed on fire. Cops. This guy is a redneck. I should have showed him on Redneck Wednesday. A Louisiana hothead was so enraged that he didn't receive his COVID-19 stimulus check that he decided he was going to set his mom's shed on fire. I thought it was funny because hopefully she's got State Farm and she's going to get a shear shed or whatever she said. Next story, because we're running out of time.
She's about to get a check.
Were you stationed in California?
Yeah, San Bernardino.
Did you ever get a ticket out there?
Hell yeah.
They are the most expensive tickets ever. Ever. My wife and I got one on the same stretch of highway a week apart. And I'm not joking, man. When a simple 5 over is like $500 or $600. I mean, it's crazy.
Damn. Yeah.
Apparently,
I got one, I don't know, about 8 years ago. Shit.
Apparently, because of the COVID-19 and the roads being so clear, because Highway 101 was always packed, but apparently it's cleared out because of COVID-19 and triple-digit driving citations have skyrocketed. That means that people going over 100 miles per hour. During the 32-day stretch, CHP authorities handed out 2,493 citations for driving over 100 miles per hour across California, which is double almost the 1,335 citations issued between March 19 to April 19 in 2019. Let me tell you what, those are some expensive tickets.
Goddamn right.
And
DOT, not GOD.
And they don't play around. Actually, you know what's kind of cool though? Like if you don't pay your ticket there, they don't put a warrant out for your arrest, so to speak. You know what they do? They send you to credit agency, and they have to collect it.
That's worse than a warrant. I mean, it depends on who you talk to.
Right. I mean, I would rather it go to credit, especially if you already got bad credit. You know, it's like, oh, okay, who cares, right? But that's exactly what they do.
No.
And they
but
probably,
for my brothers and sisters out there, pay your tickets, man. We need to keep our credit straight so we can buy property and create our wealth. But go ahead,
damn right. That's good. Hey, actually, that's a good ending segue because that was my last slide of the day. Hey, thank you for joining me tonight.
Hey, thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah. So, hey, going back to the beginning, if you want to support a good conservative, make sure that you go to hood-samaritan.com, Hood Samaritan on Instagram. You can also DM us. We're about to get cut off here. See you today's Thursday. We will not be doing a show.
Enjoy the draft, you guys.
Huh?
Enjoy the draft, y'all.
Yeah, draft is on. So get off this. Hopefully you're just recording this. You're watching that. Go Lions. And Saturday, we may or may not. I'm not sure. My wife and I might be doing a Sippin' Saturday live show where we interact more with the viewers. See ya.
Hey, let me invite my wife to that one.
Do it. Saturday. I think we're going to do it like 12. Talk to you.
All right.
Bye.